Today I am going to do the Herbie the Love Bug paint job on the 1963 Volkswagen Beetle, available in the Meguiar's car pack, available on the Forza 4 marketplace. It's a relatively cheap sort of car pack this time around. 10 cars, 560 MS points, good value. There's some good cars in there. So to start off, we're going to do the numbering, which is probably the hardest part of this. Well, it is the hardest part of this entire paint job. You could very well edit the existing fonts to make the numbering, but you just wouldn't get the right look. So only being two numbers, I decided to create my own here. Now, there is a little bit of a trick here because we do have the background vinyl, which is the round sticker where the numbers go. We can use that background colour to help us make our numbers as well, and then that would just blend in when it's placed on top of the sticker. So here I've basically created the 5 using those rectangles and the 2 half spheres, or circles I should say. And now by placing another circle inside of those, we can get a nice even cut to form the rest of the 5 there. It's so much easier to do it this way than to try and use the already curved vinyl groups and stuff like that that are pre-made in the vinyl selection. So this circle shape will be the main basis for the numbers, and you'll see how that forms together in just a second. One of the tricks with Forza is working out what areas are very similar, where you can recycle already previous work, whether that be from an old vinyl group, what you're working on at the moment with these shapes, anywhere you can to save a bit of time and make things as neat as possible. So when doing it this way, depending on the sizes that you start off with, you may need to adjust the vinyls within the 3, so ungroup them and either change the size of the black areas or change the size of the white areas. Remember to group vinyls when you're working on them, and change the size of everything at once, or group them and change the colour of everything at once. You'll save yourself a lot of time and effort, and grouping stages as well is a big factor. When you're getting into things and you've got a few hundred layers and you want to go and make it change, or to the colour scheme or a simple part of the design, if you haven't grouped them, it can be extremely difficult to find out where you need to make the changes. So remember to group as you go, and keep your work organised, so when you do need to edit anything or you want to use it somewhere else, you're not going to have to do too much modifying or new work. When trimming back this 3, however, and resizing it, you might find that some of your white background will overlap onto your 5. Just simply put your 3 as the bottom layer, so it will sit underneath the 5, and then it won't cause any problems. So now we'll have the sticker being made, and that's extremely easy to do, and as long as you always copy this shape as you go. So if you know you're going to be using 2 circles, copy your previous circle as well, and you can minimise your menu time as well. So if you've got a shape that you've used recently sitting in the bottom there of your used vinyls, just copy it with the X button, cut it, paste it, and then paste it again for the extra copy that you need, and you'll save a lot more time. So if you're wondering what all that flashing stuff is carrying on, that's just me cutting and pasting and stuff like that to speed things along. So in that short amount of time, you've got the hardest part of the car done, and it wasn't too difficult after all. It certainly isn't perfect, but for the purposes of this video, it's more than sufficient, and because you're all doing it your own, it's not locked, and you can make it much better. So Herbie's coming along good. I'm just going to put the basic touches on now. Again, I didn't measure these vinyl groups. I've just eyeballed them from a photo I found of the web of a Herbie sitting in a museum somewhere in America, and yeah, it's close enough. But if you want to make a replica, I suggest that you get a good source of photos together, and then you can use the measurements on the car to find out the widths of your vinyls and the placements to make it perfect. Generally in Forza, I found that replicas are much more sought after than lookalikes. There's a big difference between a replica and a lookalike, as I'm sure you're all aware. So just keep that in mind if you're doing this and what your purposes are for, or if you're just going to sit it in your garage and never touch it again. It's not that big of a deal, but if you want to make storefront sales, there's probably going to be a fair few people out there with these in their storefront, so better off doing the best job that you can. But with such a simple car, you can put so much more into this paintwork. Being an old 63 Volkswagen, it could be very well rusty by now and faded and whatnot, so it'd be a good time to have a play around with rust and fading racing stripes. But it's something we can look at in future if any of you are interested in learning how to do it. I can certainly put together a tutorial for that, and we can make some rusty, bombed up looking cars with dirt up the side and whatever else. You can use it on old cars, and it's something everybody would probably be interested in. So if you are, let us know, and I'll organise that. When you've got the, as you probably noticed, you've got the paste all from left to right in the options there when you're painting on the other side of the vehicle, and it's a good option, but as you can see, it flips everything around the opposite way. So although I tend to use it, it's so I can place my vinyls in the exact right position every time. That's the other joy of making things yourself. Nothing's locked and both sides of your car look right. It's not one side's perfect and then you get on the other side and everything's back to front. So it's worthwhile making your own vinyl groups to avoid that problem, and it's pretty much the reason why I started making my own vinyl groups, because of that reason. You'd spend $5,000 on the vinyl and then go, I can't put it on that side of the car because it's back to front. This avoids all that problem, and there's a few tricks with that too that hopefully I can show you in a future video. They won't all be this long, simply because some are way too long and they'll just be like a time lapse. But where I can do a voiceover, I will. So be sure to rate, comment and subscribe on the channel so I actually get off my butt and do some more. And practice, guys and girls. It's not as hard as it looks once you start practicing. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Enjoy the finished product here, and good luck in making your own.